We have certainly talked a lot on this channel about the importance of playing panic-free Rocket League, because at the end of the day, panic is one of the biggest causes of unforced errors in your gameplay. In a recent video, we talked about how a lack of awareness can lead to panic, but even more so than that, a big cause of panic in Rocket League is simply playing with unnecessary speed. If you find yourself flipping and boosting all over the field, you'll often end up in spots before you really need to be there, and therefore it'll feel like you're kind of chasing the play around the field rather than actually reading the play out and arriving where you need to be when you need to be there. So in today's video, we'll be showcasing how you can play a very calm and composed game by simply limiting your flips around the field. So the two games we'll be looking at today are the last two in a rank up session into GC2, so that you guys can see how this simple idea can even be extremely effective at the highest ranks of the game. So let's go ahead and kick this right on off, and we're really going to be delving in to just the limited amounts of flips that we're going to use around the field. And we're going to see our first very important moment right here. As you can see, we're just calmly rotating back down the field, having trust in our teammate here. And this is a very common position where players will use unnecessary flips and will simply put themselves in an even more awkward position when they don't need to. So when we find ourselves in a position like this where the ball is being boomed downfield and we find ourselves a bit out of the play, a lot of players would have a habit of just boosting and flipping back towards the net as quickly as possible. But the problem with this idea is if you flip back in the shortest way possible, you're going to get back to the net and the ball is not going to be anywhere near a spot where you can actually make a play on it. And you're also not going to be able to move back out of the net. So you're going to get here and you're going to have to just park it, which means all of your momentum is gone. And in order to gain that momentum back, you're going to need to use a lot more boost, as opposed to if we could just take a smooth rotation down the field, arrive here at the net when we would possibly be needed to make a play. And if our teammate is able to make a play on the ball, then we can just maintain this momentum that we've been carrying this whole time to proceed out to wherever else we need to go on the field to make the next play that we need to make. And this is one of the biggest keys to success in Rocket League, just being able to maintain your momentum around the field as often as possible. So as you'll see here, we recognize that this ball isn't really that dangerous. We do have a bit of time. Yes, we want to get back to net fairly quickly, so we are going to take this narrow path of pads. But we also recognize that the opponents are not going to be able to immediately put this ball on target in a threatening manner. So back we go, teammate makes a great clear, and just like that, we're able to turn right upfield and go attack the ball very, very quickly, simply by maintaining that momentum that we carried through our rotation. Grab this boost as well, pressure this, and again, we're just keeping our wheels on the ground. And the most important thing about the fact that our wheels stay on the ground is what it allows us to react to the play as quickly as possible, as we're going to see here. So the joy of having your wheels on the ground is that whenever the ball pops out in any given direction, you are immediately able to turn in the direction you need to go to make a play on the ball. If you're ever caught in a flip animation and you find yourself too far forward and then you have to hit the brakes or even worse, turn around, now you're not in a great spot to be able to attack the ball when the opportunity shows up. In a spot like this, if we found ourselves too far forward and had to mitigate our positioning by resetting ourselves, we would probably miss out on this opportunity and allow time for the defender to get back here. But because we're just calmly moving up the field with all of our wheels on the ground, ready for any opportunity that could come to us, the second this ball pops out, we're able to jump right on it and split the defense with that shot to go ahead and take that 1-0 lead. So huge moment there for our calm play, allowing us to get a goal simply because we didn't overcomplicate what was going on the field. Teammate rotating back behind us, so again, we'll just force forward. Again, not leaving the ground until it is necessary for us to do so, allowing us to stay involved in the play. Reset over the top, not going to be able to get that one on target. This one, ooh, just off the post and the crossbar. this one is a great example of when you absolutely would want to flip back as fast as possible. You can see that as soon as we recognize how dangerous this is, we are trying to just get back. Unfortunately, bit of a poor challenge from my teammate. Definitely an awkward spot for him. Does he go? Does he stay back? Tough one for sure. We are just simply not able to get back fast enough. Luckily, that ball is not on target and we do get bailed out. And now here is where we're going to see the most minor difference causing a major problem. So we can look at this and say, well, yeah, obviously, we shouldn't be diving at this. This is just poor awareness on our part of where the opponents are. But let's look at one small aspect of this play that a lot of people probably wouldn't even think about. So as we land here, we have 16 boost. And at this exact moment, we basically have two choices. Do we A, do what we do in this play, which is go over to this corner boost with a flip and go all the way over here? Or do we simply drive up the field, taking all of these pads along the way? Now, this is an infinitely smarter idea than this. And the reasoning is honestly quite simple. If we take these pads up the field, we are closer to the play and are able to react to whatever happens a lot faster because we're already closer. By flipping over this way, we delay our movement up the field, meaning that there is a bit more of a gap between the ball and ourselves. So when the initial challenge comes out with my teammate and the ball becomes a bit loose, if we were closer, we would absolutely have an opportunity to go in and get that challenge. But by being as far back as we were, we're simply not able to make the challenge successfully, but we're also so close to the play at that point that if we turn back, we're going to be in a terrible spot anyway, so we're kind of stuck in a lose-lose situation. Much better to position in a smart spot, which allows us to take more control of the play, even when we don't personally have control of the ball. So you can see, imagine for a second if instead of over here, we had gone this way, and let's just say we were like here, just ever so slightly further forward. Now, if we were here, we would have just a little bit faster of a reaction to be able to go get this challenge, as opposed to being just a couple of cars lengths further back, therefore allowing the opponent to get the ball over the top of us. So, very, very small thing there. That makes an absolutely massive difference as to whether or not we're able to make a successful challenge on that ball in that position. We are going to be able to make a nice save there to keep ourselves in the lead. Bit of another dive in there, leaving my team in a bad spot, unnecessarily leaving the ground for sure. My teammate has us bailed out. Ball for free, up the field we go. Take this boost, wait patiently, ball off the backboard. Let's dive in for this challenge, leave it on the goal line, and teammate's going to slam that one on home. And here is another great example of when a lot of players might want to flip, but if you wait patiently, you might have a fantastic opportunity like this. So for a lot of players, we see something like this, and we're worried about the ball getting over the top, so we start to flip back immediately, and then when our teammate wins this ball, we're so far out of the play that turning isn't even an option, and more than likely we've actually gotten ourselves stuck in a 2v1 situation. But instead, if we recognize that there's most likely some kind of challenge coming out here, and just boost along these small pads back this way, wait to see how this plays out, then from a spot like this, we can decide if we need to continue going back, or if we can turn quickly to capitalize on an opportunity that is now available to us. And you can see, as we go back here, we see the win, we immediately recognize the poor position of the defense, we turn very quickly, dive on in, get a solid challenge, and leave a very easy open net for our teammates. So, as you guys can see, the only times we were really caught in awkward spots was when we moved ourselves into unnecessary positions by moving too quickly when we didn't have to. Unnecessary flips, unnecessary jumps cause you to be out of position and make things very, very awkward for you. So let's go ahead and keep this rolling into game number 2 and see how this idea helped propel us back into GC2. Game number 2 here, we're looking at the same ideas, making sure that we're not doing anything crazy, just calmly moving around the field. Recognize teammate has the play forward, we're just waiting patiently here. Ball in the air, gonna get a very subpar touch, gonna put us out of position, and you can see we're scrambling back here. We're gonna get bailed out once again by the opponents, not being able to put that one on target, and this all comes down to this touch. So realistically, when you take your wheels off the ground, you better be darn sure about whatever you're doing and make sure that you get something good out of it. If you get touches like this where the ball just floats directly to your opponents, all you're doing is taking yourself out of the game, leaving yourself in a poor position, and putting your team in an overall bad spot as well. So if you're going to leave the ground, you need to make sure it's for an actual useful play, not something like this, where you just hand the ball to your opponents, and then even worse, not only do you give the ball away, but you also fail to recognize the danger of the situation, and you go back all the way on the outside of the field rather than cutting into the middle immediately to try to get back a little bit faster. So very poor play overall here from us. Definitely very, very lucky that the opponents do not slot that one into the top corner. Teammate, though, is going to counterattack, and just like that, we're going to have ourselves a 1-goal lead. Teammates regaining for our poor positioning, getting that nice counterattack, going to put us on top. Wheels on the ground, able to respond to whatever happens. Let's just keep ourselves between the ball and the goal. Would have had a decent opportunity to take that challenge on that shot if need be. Once again, wheels on the ground as long as possible, allowing us to recover very, very quickly, allowing us to get back down the field. Teammate with the double demo ball, not really settling for us, so we're just gonna stay with it, put the opponents in a bit of an awkward spot. Again, rotate back, no reason to flip, no reason to dive anywhere. Just calmly moving. Teammate winning a fight in the corner. Gonna allow him to transition down the field, and again, that calm movement just keeps us in a good supportive position where whatever happens in the play, we're able to dive in when we are needed. Teammate cutting it off, calmly rotating back. Again, the key here is recognizing where the ball is most likely to go. Loose touch from the opponents. Teammate able to get a free touch here, so there's no reason for us to continue to rush back because the ball is about to move this way. So why would we want to continue to go that way when we're going to be needed upfield to support our team? Teammate cuts it. We turn upfield with him, waiting for a possible opportunity. Nothing forthcoming. Teammate gonna get the clear out. Control down the field. Again, calmly waiting. Maintaining a nice high boost amount. Teammate fighting with the ball in the corner. There's no reason for us to go anywhere crazy. Just continue to look for possible opportunities. Jump up into the air there to pass the ball back to our teammates. Opportunity for a shot. Not the best one. Gonna put that right into the defender, but decent opportunity nonetheless, and we are there to possibly capitalize on that opportunity. But now we're going to see exactly why you don't want to get yourself too fast back towards your own half, because we're going to land here and we are just going to go as quickly as possible back down the field without any real consideration as to what's happening in the play. So right around now, we can see that there's some kind of challenge playing out here. And despite the fact that our teammate has this initial challenge covered, we're going to continue to go cover directly into net, just in case this ball gets past our teammates. What that means is that when this ball goes to the corner, we find ourselves already at the front post as our teammate is still on this ball. So we're kind of caught in a very awkward position because we can't keep going this way because that would cause a double commit with our teammate. We also can't really turn backwards because that would open up the opportunity for this pass out into the midfield in the situation that our teammate gets beat here. So instead of ending up here in a spot where we really can't do anything, it would have been much better if we had recognized how little danger there was in this position. And this movement is all fine, like, you know, getting back fairly quickly here. But as soon as we recognize that there's really not a whole lot of threat, we can slow down and swing out this way, allowing us to be coming into the back post as this touch comes out. And now we could attack the ball with momentum should we desire to, as opposed to being stuck here at the front post at a dead stop with absolutely no way to make an impact on the play if we were needed. Luckily, teammate gonna tip that ball over the top. I will say another advantage of this calm play style is being able to easily deal with ball chasers who like to aggressively challenge the ball as Ace is here. Bit of a subpar challenge there, gonna leave my teammate in a 1v2. Luckily, he does come out on top there, but not the best decision from us, but we do recognize some space here. Again, just keep the ball in front of us, take the simple play, over the top we go, into the net we go, and that is going to be game number 2 in the books. So as you guys can see, it's really nothing crazy. We're just keeping our wheels on the ground until it's actually necessary for us to jump. If you find yourself in your own games constantly out of position in spots where you can't make a play on the ball, really examine how you're moving around the field and see if you're actually putting yourself in those bad positions with the way you're moving. If you're constantly boosting and flipping and jumping in places you don't need to, you often end up taking yourself out of the play, and therefore you put yourself in awkward positions that you really shouldn't be in. Of course, thank you everybody so much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you who made it to this point in the video, and I do hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below, so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. Additionally, if you'd like to be a bit more involved in the community we're building here, feel free to join my Discord, which I'll have linked down in the description. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.